Yes, business is booming, especially for those games, just like what happened in the Big Ten.
And I just think her style of play resonates with the big basketball fan, the big game fan.
Caitlin's lifting everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Our arenas are packed, our viewership.
So guys, did you all hear the news? Did you hear? Indiana, the Indiana Fever will be the host of the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game. Now, guys, this is not official because the WNBA has not announced it yet. However, the announcement will be coming later this week, and ESPN got in the loop about what's happening early, so they have released a story about it. Special shout out to Alexa Philippou over at ESPN. She announced, she put out an article talking about the fact that the Indiana Fever will be hosting the All-Star Game in 2025. Now, guys, the reason why the Indiana Fever will be hosting this, I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? It's pretty obvious why Indiana's going to be the host. The reason why is because the Caitlin Clark effect. Guys, this is something that's a thing. It's been a thing for a long time. I want to do a quick dive into the Caitlin Clark effect financially, and talk about why exactly the WNBA has made the decision to have the All-Star Game in Indiana for 2025. What that means for Indiana as a franchise, what that means for the state, what that means for the WNBA as a whole, and get into what some people have commented about this situation. All right, so guys, the Caitlin Clark effect is real. It is absolutely real, and there is a lot of money to be had. So, guys, this is from the Common Sense Institute of Iowa. They reported back when Caitlin was still playing in Iowa, they did a study about the economics of Caitlin Clark, the Clarkonomics, as you would say. And they said there was soaring attendance at Iowa women's basketball games during Caitlin Clark's career. And if you were to put a financial number on that, that would have been between $14.4 million and $52.3 million dollars that was added to Iowa's economy because of Caitlin Clark. And this is like specifically related to attendance, guys. So again, the financials about Caitlin Clark is real. It absolutely is real. And we've seen it, back when she was with the Iowa Hawkeyes. Now, when we come to the WNBA in particular, well, not only have we seen a lot of money that Iowa has made on behalf of one person, guys. Remember this. These stats are very, very specific to Caitlin Clark herself. Again, between $14.4 million and $52.3 million that was added to Iowa's economy from just one person. Just one person, guys. It's kind of crazy to sort of talk about, but I want to talk through this to give you all a good sense of why exactly the WNBA has decided to do what they've done. Not only has it contributed to a lot of money financially, but we saw huge numbers all season for this past college basketball season. Basically every game was sold out when Iowa came to town, whether or not they were at home or they were on the road. They sold out games. We saw that ticket prices for games were absolutely insane. It was so much of Caitlin Clark fever that we saw a preseason game at Kinnick Stadium. Now, guys, this is a thing that has never happened in Iowa history. The fact that they played on a football stadium and 50,000+ people were in attendance for that game. And again, that was a preseason game between Iowa and DePaul. And me and Mama, we were in the stands. We were there for that. It just shows the strength of this one person. All right, and actually that's not it. That's not it. We got a couple more things for this season for the WNBA. Two games for this season have surpassed 20,000 in attendance, and both of those games for the WNBA this season have featured Caitlin Clark in the Indiana Fever. Okay, so again, guys, this is something that's only happened 6 times in WNBA history, going past 20,000 in attendance, and that happened 2 times. That happened 2 times this season when Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever came to town. All right, and finally, I want to say this. When we talk about the attendance for the WNBA, the Indiana Fever by far the Indiana Fever lead the WNBA in attendance with 16,898 fans in attendance on average, guys. On average. Now that's courtesy of Across the Timeline, guys. Across the Timeline is pretty phenomenal, and they have some really, really awesome stats. And so I just wanted to share that to just show just the power of Caitlin and the power of this Indiana Fever team. Guys, again, 16,898 fans, 1,000 fans on average. Now, the second most attendance for the WNBA is New York Liberty, who is averaging 12,755. So again, dramatic, almost a 4,000 difference. 4,000 fans on average difference between the Indiana Fever and the New York Liberty. Again, it just shows the power of this. So this is sort of building up to why the WNBA decided to do what they did. I've seen a lot of people on social media upset, confused, mad that the WNBA has chosen to have the All-Star game in Iowa. And I'm just trying to walk through this to show you all that there is a legitimate reason as to why the WNBA is doing what they are doing. All right, continuing on. It's important for the WNBA to strike while the iron is hot, guys. Since the Indiana Fever, has been on the rise when it comes to the WNBA this season, since they are leading the WNBA in attendance, since a lot of their games are on TV, a lot of people want to see them. A lot of their games are getting past 1 million in viewership. There's a lot of excitement around the Indiana Fever. And a lot of that excitement, a good amount of that excitement comes from new fans. And the WNBA is in grow now mode. So instead of sitting on your heels while you have this sort of moneymaker right in your lap, right? When you have this awesome opportunity, strike while the iron is hot. Make sure to take advantage of everything you can when it comes to Indiana Fever. And the decision to go to Indiana for the All-Star game is a prime example of that. Striking while the iron is hot, taking advantage of what you have, just sort of sitting there. All right. So guys, just so you all know, we've never seen the All-Star game in Indiana. This will be the first time ever, guys, that the All-Star game has been in Indiana. And guys, it makes sense because in general, we haven't seen crazy numbers for the Indiana Fever. Yes, the Indiana Fever has been a good team in the past, right? But we're just seeing astronomical numbers of what this team has been able to garner in terms of fan support and whatnot. And this is going to be the first time it's going to be in Indiana, which is pretty cool. Again, striking while the iron is hot. You never necessarily needed to go to Indiana in the past, but now you can. Now there is more of a reason to go to Indiana for the All-Star game, and yeah, that's sort of why. Now, if you all are curious about where exactly the Indiana Fever play, here's where they play. They play at Gamebridge Fieldhouse. This is an arena that actually just went through a massive overhaul. They went through a $360 million project, huge amount of money that was spent to renovate Gamebridge Fieldhouse and the adjacent area. This renovation is the second largest arena renovation in NBA history at the time. At the time that this renovation was done, this was the largest one. And again, they just finished it. Like it's a very recent project for Gainbridge Fieldhouse. So it's a beautiful arena. It's a beautiful, like, the grounds of it looks awesome. It's updated. It's nice. The capacity for the arena is 18,000. And guys, I fully expect for all 18,000 of those seats to be filled for the All-Star game and for that to be sold out. Also, guys, if you're interested in awards, Gainbridge Fieldhouse was actually recently nominated for the Sports Facility of the Year. So, not only did they just spend a lot of money renovating this place, not only does it look pretty nice and whatnot, it also is objectively nice because of the fact that it was nominated for this Sports Facility of the Year. It's kind of cool. All right. Now, guys, if you all did not know, the NBA actually recently held their All-Star game at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in 2024. And, guys, it was not a time to be had. It wasn't. So I saw a lot of reports about people not having anything to do in Indiana for the NBA All-Star game. I heard people say it was boring, it wasn't fun, yada, 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 yada. The fact that the NBA had their All-Star game in Indiana, I think this provides the WNBA a lot of key learnings about, okay, well, what people didn't enjoy about the NBA All-Star game and how can they flip that and not say, no, we're going to avoid Indiana because the NBA didn't have a good time there. NBA fans didn't have a good time there. But how can you say, okay, they had some things that didn't work out quite well. Let's make some adjustments. Let's make this thing awesome. Let's make this thing awesome because, guys, there's a lot of excitement when it comes to Indiana Fever, and you want this thing to be extremely, extremely fun. We saw in Phoenix, fans who attended the All-Star game in Phoenix and the festivities, they seemed to have a blast. I saw nothing but good reports from fans who went to the All-Star game in Phoenix. And guys, it's important for the WNBA to sort of use that and talk and try to see what can they do? What can the WNBA do to not just have the All-Star game in Indiana, not just have it at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, not just capitalize initially on the fandom that is from Caitlin Clark and this new Indiana Fever team. Not just that, but how can you use that to create additional sustaining growth for the WNBA? Like, this is going to give a perfect opportunity for the WNBA to do just that. Now, guys, I saw a lot of people on social media sort of talking about why didn't you pick New York? Why didn't you pick Vegas? Why didn't you pick Phoenix again? Well, again, it's about striking while the iron is hot. And yes, there's a lot more stuff to do. There's absolutely a lot more stuff to do in New York, in Phoenix, in Vegas, in LA, in Chicago. There's a lot more stuff to do in those places. But again, the WNBA is trying to sort of garner that insane fan support that is around Caitlin Clark. So yes, in general, there's not as much stuff to do in Indiana. However, what they can do is they can sort of beef up WNBA Live and ensure that that really is the place to go, even if the rest of Indianapolis may not have as much stuff happening. All right. So hopefully that is some helpful information. And guys, after all that has been said, I do want to hear your comments, and I do want to find out from you all. Do you plan on getting tickets? Do you plan on going to the All-Star game in 2025? Guys, just so y'all know, I will be there. Once I found out that this was happening, once I read that article, I immediately told my family, I'm getting tickets. We're going. Okay. So that is absolutely something that we're doing, mainly because it is so close. Indianapolis is like not that far at all from Chicago. So I will be there for the 2025 WNBA All-Star game. I have been very excited about it. Once the All-Star game ended in Phoenix, I was telling people, I was like, hey, I need that thing to be in Indiana. I need that thing to be in Indiana because it just makes sense. It makes business sense, in my opinion. It makes sense for fandom. Is it the best for sort of quote unquote legacy fans who want to go to a different place? Maybe not. But again, it's striking while the iron is hot, and getting as many new fans in the door as possible. All right. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts there. I am very curious to hear what you all have to say. So let's get into the comments and see what you all have to say about it. Guys, if you all could, please hit that like button. We got about 300 people in the chat, but we don't have very many likes. So if y'all could please hit that like button, that really does help the channel out a whole lot. All right. Jan says, how do you get tickets when? Well, the WNBA has not announced that yet. So I am not sure. I'm not sure when we'll be able to get tickets. But I assume whenever tickets go on sale, I will make sure to let you all know. I will either post it in the community tab, or I will make a separate video about it. I will make sure you all know when tickets go on sale, okay? All right. Rachel says, ooh, that's not close. Would be a 7-hour drive for me. Understandable. CSC says Indianapolis also has a big airport. Well, that's good to know. That is very, very good to know. Thank you for that, CAC. Miss Peach says, I wanted to go, but no interest in going to Indianapolis. I'll watch from home. Understandable. MR says the All-Star Game should be permanently in LA, New York, or Las Vegas. Indiana is a boring place. Well, I get what you're saying, but again, the whole purpose of an All-Star Game is to enable more fandom. That's the whole purpose. The whole purpose is to get all the stars in one spot and to showcase the talent of the league, but also to really, really garner, to engage current fans and also garner more fans. And I do think that having it in Indianapolis will do that. Though, yes, there's not as much stuff to do in Indiana. However, I think they're going to make sure that they do whatever they can to really, really beef up WNBA Live and ensure that it is not as boring as what I have seen claimed from the NBA All-Star Game, which happened this past year, or this year, I should say. CAC says, how are the teams divided during a normal All-Star Game? Well, the way things are divided is there's fan voting, and the top 2 fan vote getters are the team captains, and the rest sort of follow the normal process where the fan votes, coaches votes, media votes, sort of pick the other folks who are going to be on the All-Star, like who will be on an All-Star roster, and then the 2 captains select the players that they want, each one by one. All right, so let's see what you all have to say. FM says, all right, Quita is going on location. Yeah, I'll be there. I will absolutely be there. Because guys, it's only, I don't know, what is it, like 4 hours away, 5 hours away, something like that. It's not far for me. It's not far for me at all. All right. Let's see what you all have to say. Rhonda, Iowa girl, says the zoo is amazing there. Okay, well, that's great. Guys who have been around Indianapolis. Yeah. Rhonda, thank you so much for sharing that tidbit. If anyone else has any other suggestions about stuff that's in and around Indianapolis that people can engage with, that'd be cool. That'd be cool for us to have a list of like, yeah, we're going for the All-Star Game, but like, here's some fun stuff to do in Indianapolis. Doug says, I drive through Indy all the time. Seems like a nice area. Neil says, Indy has a lot of goats and other animals too. It's not boring. I love goats and random animals. It's kind of cool. Doug says 3 for you, 5 for me, Quita. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, Doug. Goro says, I hope I'll run into you if I go next year. Well, I hope so too. We'll probably have we will likely have a meetup at the All-Star Game next year. All right. So guys, that's kind of the news there. I just wanted to let you all know that the All-Star Game will be happening in Indianapolis next season. guys. The reason why is because the Indiana Fever has been bringing in a lot of attendance and a lot of money when it comes to the WNBA. Guys, did you know that the Indiana Fever lead the league in attendance at both home and away games? We've seen a 265% jump in attendance from last year to this year for the Indiana Fever. All right. So again, if you don't want to believe the Caitlin Clark effect is real, it is real. 265% jump in attendance from last year to this year for the Indiana Fever for both home and away games. Just saying, there may not be as much stuff to do in Indiana. However, you can't argue. You cannot argue with results. Okay, you cannot argue with results. All right, guys. From the talk about the All-Star game, guys, we are moving on to our. Actually, hold on. Maria says Lucas Oil Stadium would be the best choice. So, guys, Lucas Oil Stadium is where the Indianapolis Colts play. Now, they do have a retractable roof. So, maybe. We saw 50,000 people come out, me and Mama included, come out to Kinnick Stadium to watch a basketball game. That could be a pretty novel thing to do, having it at a football arena, football stadium. That could be pretty fun. I don't think the WNBA is going to risk that because the capacity for that arena is huge. The capacity for Lucas Oil Stadium is huge. They hold 70,000 people. That's a huge capacity, and I don't think the WNBA will risk having it there. It would be pretty novel. It'd be kind of cool, but I don't think they'll risk having it there and possibly having it not be completely filled up. So I don't know. Though, I mean, people did travel to come to Iowa to watch a game at a football stadium. So like novel, it'd be cool, but I don't know. I don't know if Kathy makes that swing. I don't know if she makes that swing. I don't know. I'm not sure if she makes that swing because that's a huge gamble to make. Because who knows what could happen from now and then, and that'd be a huge gamble to have it at the football stadium. All right, guys, let's and yes, William, you are right. Yeah, 56,000 went to Kinnick. Yeah, you're right about that.